Prince Charming. Most little girls dream about being princesses and marrying their fathers when they grow up. No man is as wonderful and handsome as your father when you're 5 years old. You don't understand the concept of romantic love and what it means to be in a relationship. The admiration you have is innocent and sweet. I wasn't like most little girls, though. While my father was an amazing man, my first Prince Charming was Dominick Parker. Not only did he look like a Disney prince, but he also acted like one. He was my sister's best friend, but he never made me feel excluded. Even though they were both 12 years my senior, instead of going off on their own all the time, they'd take me with them when they went to the movies or the theme parks. We even built my treehouse together. When I was 7 years old, my parents died in a tragic car accident. At the time, my sister Tammy was living in a dorm at college. She immediately moved back home to take care of me. She would have dropped college if it wasn't for Dominick. He decided to sacrifice his own free time to make sure that my sister and I were well cared for. He went to college during the day and worked at night. The only time I ever saw him was when he was handing his paychecks over to my sister. Thanks to Dominick, my sister and I were able to act as close to a normal family as possible. We'd both go to school during the day, but by the time the bus dropped me off, she'd be waiting for me at home. She wasn't a replacement for Mom, but I knew she tried her best. The years passed and Tammy finished college and was able to get a job as a manager at the local bank. She made sure her schedule still allowed for her to be home before I got off school. With Dominick no longer needing to support us, he quit his job and started coming around more. It was strange seeing him and Tammy together again. Not quite how I remembered it when I was a child. Then again, at 12 years old, I was beginning to understand more about how the world worked. Love was no longer a foreign concept to me. I could see the way Dominick looked at my sister. But when she looked back at him, the sentiment wasn't returned. I thought about asking her why they weren't a couple, but the truth was that I didn't want them to be. One thing that hadn't changed through the years was my attraction to Dominick. Though it had matured like the rest of me, it was a silly little girl's fantasy to one day have him as my husband. He was absolutely perfect, both physically and emotionally. Everything that a man should be.